So I recently switched from CapCut to Filmora video editing software, and my mind was blown away with the hundreds of amazing effects and AI tools that they have packed in their video editing software. So if you've been looking for a way to up your video editing game so that you can get that viral video that you've always wanted, or maybe you're tired of using CapCut with all the charges or even other boring video editing softwares, then count yourself lucky, because in this video I'm going to be teaching you different ways and different strategies that you can use to upgrade your video editing so that you can have that viral video that you've always wanted. So if this is something that you're interested in, please come closer and let's dive in. So to get started, the first thing you need to do is to come over to your browser and visit Filmora download. Okay, just come here, and once it opens, you're going to click on the first one, which is filmora.wondershare.com/video editor. I'm going to be leaving the link in the description so that it will be easy for you. And then the next thing you want to do is to come right here and click on download. And here you can see that it's being downloaded automatically to my device, but I'm not going to download it because I already have it already. So I'm just going to go ahead and open the one that I already downloaded and installed. And once it opens, the next thing you want to do is to come right here and click on new project so that we can open a new project file. And now that you have this, the next thing you want to do is to bring in the files that you want to edit. But in this case, I want to show you how I was able to do this type of effect. You see it in a lot of viral videos. It's very easy to do with Filmora, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it. And the only external thing that you need for this edit is the map itself. Okay, so you just go over to Google and download the map, which I have done, and I have it here in my folder. You can see this is the only thing that you need for this edit, world map, and you're good to go. So now that you have this, all you have to do is to drag this map straight to your timeline like so. Okay, so now I have it in my timeline, and I'm going to zoom in to have it open like so. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to hold the map from the end. That's this end right here, because it's just less than 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to drag it to this point where it's like 1 minute. Okay, so now that I have this like so, the next thing you want to do is to come over to this shape tool. It's very easy. It's something that you can easily do. So I'm going to click on this shape tool, and then you're going to go ahead and select the rectangle. Okay, and then you're going to come right here on the screen, and you're going to draw a very thin, but not too thin, a very thin rectangle like this. Maybe long, but you can always adjust the size, the width, and all of that. Okay, so now I have the rectangle. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to just rotate it, and here it is. So the animation I want to do is someone traveling from Russia to Brazil. Okay, let's say I took a trip from Russia to Brazil and I'm telling a story. This can come into play no matter the type of video that you upload on the internet, whether you're uploading on TikTok, whether you're uploading on Instagram, whether you're uploading on YouTube or Facebook. You can use this effect to engage your viewers and have that high retention on your videos, because it's high retention that guarantees much views. So if you're looking for views, you have to find a way or ways you can use to have your viewers glued to your video so that they can watch for longer time. The longer they watch your video, the more the platform sees your video as valuable, and they are going to in turn show it to more people, because if people are watching your video for long, they are going to assume that the video is valuable, because they don't get to watch the videos and know which one is valuable and which one is not. So they depend on viewers' actions and the things that the viewers do, how long they watch the video, to know if the video is valuable to be shown to other people. That is actually the background of virality, videos going viral and all of that. Okay, so this is what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to add visual effects to our videos to stand a chance of having our videos go viral. So here that we have this, I'm going to then shorten this one because it's too long. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten it by holding it by the edge like so. So we're going to then bring it down. You can see Brazil to Russia. Okay, Russia to Brazil. Let's still bring it down a bit so that it doesn't cover the name. Let's still bring it down to this way. Now, you can do this for any country. You can do it Brazil to Canada, Brazil to Africa, Brazil to Nigeria, Canada to Nigeria, UK to Nigeria, United States to Nigeria, all you have to do is to just point your direction. But I'm using this because of the distance so that you can see how amazing it looks. It's very easy to do and you're going to be blown away. So work with me here, okay? So now that I have this, we're going to work on the colors first. So to do that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on drop shadow, okay? We're going to first turn off the border because we don't want any border around our rectangle, okay? Around the line. So what we're going to turn on instead is drop shadow, okay? So now we have a shadow in the background, but before we start working on the shadow, let's go ahead and change the color. So we're going to come over to the color and we're going to select red. For you, you can select green, you can select blue, but you have to select a color that is different from the background color so that the two colors won't clash, okay? So now that we have that selected, we are going to rotate it to this point, and then we're going to come over to the shadow. And what we're going to do here is to increase the opacity to 100, okay? And then the blur, we're going to reduce the blur. So here you can see the shadow itself. You can see it created a different line altogether. So we don't want that. We want it directly, just slightly directly under the red. Just let it come out a little bit like so that it will be seen. And then we're going to increase the blur. Okay, increase the blur to 6, and now we have this ready. And then what we are going to do next is to cut out this. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this thing out like so. Let's cut this place out because we don't want it longer than the image that we have. So to do that, we'll come to the end of the video like so, and then we're going to click on the rectangle that we just drew, and we're going to come right here. You can see the scissors icon, okay? Click on the scissors icon and it's going to automatically cut it. And then you're going to select the one that you don't want and go ahead and delete it like so, and you're good to go. So now that we have this, it's time to animate it, which is very easy. And I'm teaching you this so you can also inculcate it in anything you want to do. It's not just for this, you can use the same concept for a whole lot of things as well. So now that I have this selected, the next thing I want to do is to animate this, okay? To animate it so that it moves from point A, which is this point, to point B. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure you select the drawing, the rectangle, select the drawing, and then you're going to come right here to basic, not animation. You're going to come to basic and make sure that the transform is turned on. And you're going to then turn on the scale. For scale, you turn on the X, okay? You turn on here. There's a diamond icon here. It's called a keyframe. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the diamond icon for the X part, okay? On that scale. And then you come to position. You're going to also turn on the diamond, which is the keyframe. We'll call it keyframe for video editing. But if you're a beginner, you just the diamond shape, okay? Then you turn this on as well. Okay, so you come to the end and you're going to turn this one on, the X scale, you're going to turn it on, and you're going to come to the position as well and turn it on as well. And then you're going to go back to the beginning of the video as well. You're going to just move the slider to the beginning of the video, and then we're going to select our image like this, and we're going to select the drawing, and we're going to then resize this and make it disappear completely, okay? We're going to resize this and make it disappear completely to the end, like so. All right, so now that we have it, you can see we don't have any other thing on our screen. The next thing we want to do is to go ahead and play it and see how it looks. Now, this is incredible. Now, you're not done, but you can see it was working out perfectly. Don't worry, we're going to arrange it. And let's say it's too fast. Let's say it was too fast when we played it. What we're going to do is to increase the length of the video so that it's going to slow down. And to do that, we're going to drag our image to whatever point that we want, and then we're going to drag this here. But because we've already added a keyframe at this point, what we can do now is to move the keyframe, okay? You can move the keyframe to the end of the video. All right, so it does the same thing, but slower this time around. Or you can delete the keyframe and repeat the same thing again. Just the same thing, just that we are moving the point from here to the end, which was what we had before we increased the length of the video. So now let's go ahead and play it back and see how it looks. All right, so now you can see that it's much slower. You can even go ahead and make it much slower depending on what you want. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to leave it at this length, okay? So now the next thing we want to do is to come right here, the star of the moment, come to stickers. This is something that you wouldn't see easily on the normal video editing softwares. So here we're going to come here and search for airplane. And once it opens, you're going to select the one that you want to use. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and use this one. And to do that, all I have to do is to drag and drop it on top of the rectangle that we drew, okay? We're going to drop it here. And of course, we're going to cut this one off because it's longer than our video. Actually, is longer than our video. So now we have our airplane. And then the next thing we want to do first is to resize the airplane. And to do that, we're going to come to the screen and click on the airplane. And then we're going to go ahead and resize the airplane down to the size of the line that we drew. So the next thing we want to do is to rotate it to face the same way the line is facing. All right, so now we have it accurately. Now, how cool is this? So now what we're going to do next is we're going to take it to the beginning of our line, okay? Here, this point. But make sure you align it properly. Make sure you align it properly so that it just looks properly made. So what we are going to do here is to increase the size a little bit so that it matches our line. It covers the line up, so that it looks as if the line is directly under the airplane. So now that we have this airplane, the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and turn on our keyframe, okay? Turn on our keyframe for scale X. We're going to turn it on and then come over to position and turn the position on as well. This is where we want the airplane to stop. So now that we have it set, we're going to come back to the beginning of the video where we have our plane, okay? So we're going to come right here and we're going to click on the plane itself. We are going to take it back to the line, okay, to the beginning of the line like so. And we're going to set the keyframe, okay? We're going to set the position keyframe like so. So now that we have the keyframe set for the beginning and the end, we're going to go ahead and play it and see how it looks. Now, how cool is this? This is mind-blowing and easy to do. This is not all. You can even add more animation to sell the effect. And to do that, all we have to do is to also animate our map. So we're going to click on the map like so. And we're going to set the keyframe. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the map like so. And we're going to zoom in the map. Okay, we're going to drag the map to where we want the map to when the plane stops. So we want it to stop here, right on top of Brazil, okay? Just before Brazil. So now that we have this, now we're going to go ahead and set the scale, of course, the scale X. Select the scale X. So now we're going to select the scale X and Y this time around. And then we're going to come right here for the position. We're going to also select the position. And the next thing we want to do is we're going to come to the beginning of the video. And what we want to do is to redo everything that we have done to reduce the size of the image back to what it was before. And if we try to do it ourselves, it's going to take a lot of time. So what you're going to do right here is to come over to transform, okay? Click on transform and you're good to go. So here we have our keyframe set to the original size. So the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and play it and see how it looks. Now, how cool is this? This is incredible. And to even further sell the effects, you can even come right here to audio and you can pick a whole bunch of sound effects that you can use to sell this effect. This is incredible because it has everything that you can ever need for your video editing to sell whatever effect that you want for your video. And then the next thing I want to teach you how to do is how to add cinematic text to your videos, because cinematic text helps in gluing the viewer to your video. When there's a lot of text on the screen, you know, it helps keeping the viewers engaged to your video. And we are looking for high retention, and that is why I want to teach you how to use cinematic text so that you won't have to start paying for caption tools just to add a text effect on your videos. But before we do that, I want to quickly show you how to export the video once you're done with it. As you can see, we are done with this one right here. And to export it, you just come right here and click on export. and you're going to come over to where do you want to export it to. Do you want local? Do you want your device? Of course, I want it exported to my device. So here, I'm going to just name it map, okay? And where you want to save it to. So here, you're going to select wherever you want to save it to, and of course, grant the app permission to save to your device, okay? So you're going to, for preset, you're going to click on custom, okay? And then you're going to click on settings and make sure you select resolution. So we're going to be using the HD format, which is 1440 by 1080p. So that's all you need to do here. For compression quality, you can use high, okay? You have high quality. That is, if you added audio and all of that, you can just go ahead and select high so that you have the highest quality for everything. And this is something that most other platforms don't give you easily. So now that we have this, we're going to go ahead and click on apply. It's going to give you an even more higher resolution than the 1440 that we had initially. So here you can see we have the 1920 by 1080p. So now that we have this selected, we're going to go ahead and click on export to export the video to our device. It's very fast in exporting, and as you can see, it's done exporting. Now, how cool is this? This is incredible, and it's something that I would love you to go ahead and try out. But again, I want to show you another thing you can do with this software. It's amazing the things you can do with it, and that is the cinematic text that I talked about. And to do that, all we have to do is to come over to File, and we're going to select New Project, and of course, we're going to select either you want widescreen, you want portrait. So if you're trying to edit for your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, you can just go ahead and select portrait, so you just have the portrait selected automatically for you. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and select widescreen so that we can have a new project. So now that we have it, so let's go ahead and save the previous one. We're going to go ahead and save the previous one to our project. So now we have a clean slate to work with. And then the next thing we want to do to start our title is we're going to come over to stock media, and you have a lot of backgrounds here. It's 100% copyright free, so you're free to use any background that you see here, okay? So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and select this background. And to do that, we're going to click on it and drag it to your timeline like so. Now that we have it on our timeline, let's quickly go over to titles, and we're going to come right here and select the default title. So once you select the default title, you're going to drag it to your timeline like so, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous video by dragging this to the end of the video background that we have. So now that we have this, the next thing you want to do is to come to the title itself and double click and put whatever you want. So I'm going to write something like, please subscribe. Come on, and turn on the post notification so that you'll be notified anytime I upload amazing videos like this. Come on. All right, so now that I have this, okay, we're going to make sure that it's in the center like so, okay? All right, when you see this crossing lines, you know that is in the center. And then what else you can do is you can choose to resize it, or whatever you want is just totally fine. So we're just going to resize this just a little bit. All right, come over to text, and then we're going to see all these effects here. Okay, we see all these effects, so you can choose whichever effect that you have. Please subscribe. We can choose this effect or leave it the way it was before. Let's go ahead and leave it like this, but you have a lot of effect to choose from here. You can even change the colors to whatever color that you want. You choose your color according to what you already have, the background of the video that you have. And then the next thing we want to do is to come over to advanced, okay? We'll come over to advanced, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that we click on bold to make the text bold. And then the next thing you want to do is to also add some opacity, okay? Make sure the opacity is 100, and then you scroll down and come over to shadows. You come over, turn on the shadows, and for the purpose of this tutorial, let's see if we can work with a red shadow just to give it a red tint a little bit. So we're going to add the red shadows, and the next thing we want to do is to blur the shadow, okay? Blur it just a little bit. All right, so for distance, you're going to maybe put something like this, All right, put it this way, depending on what you want. So now that we have our text ready, you can go ahead and let your creativity run wild. There is no limit to what you can achieve. I'll still show you more things as we go. So now that we have it, the next thing we want to do is to come right here and click on apply. So now it's time to animate our text. And to do that, you can either come to animation. There's so many animations here, as you can see, that you can use to sell your effect. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I want to show you how to manually do it so that you can achieve whatever that you want. And we're going to use the same method that we used previously. And to do that, we're going to come right here, make sure you are under text and under basic, and you're going to come over to transform. Okay, this is the transform. And for scale, you're going to turn on the scale and turn on the position. Okay, and we're going to come to the end of the text, and we're going to also turn on the scale, right? Turn on the scale and turn on the position. And we're going to come to the beginning of the text, and we're going to drag this to whatever point that you want. So let's say we want this point, and we drag it to this point. So it's going to move from this point to wherever you want it. And now we have our keyframe set. So the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and play this and see how it looks. Now, how cool is this? Now, this is not all you can do with this. Another thing you can do to make it even more cinematic is to come over to animation, okay? And you're going to go ahead and select out, because we'll have something for in already. We've already done something for in, and then you're going to come over to out, and you can select anything that you want. We can go ahead and select this typewriting, okay? We're going to select this for out, and we're going to add the duration. If you want it for longer, to just take longer time to disappear, that is totally fine. All you have to do is to increase this slider to your desired time. So now that we've selected that, let's go ahead and play it together to see how it looks. So we're going to take it to the beginning of the text, and we're going to go ahead and play it. Now, how cool is this? Now, there's so many incredible things that you can do with this video editing software. But because of time, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to be doing part 2, part 3 of this video. If you want to see that, let me know in the comment section. If you want me to do more tutorials on how you can use Filmora to edit your videos, your African folktale videos, your kids animation videos, your Bible verses and quotes video, even your personality videos, just like the one you're watching right now. So if you want to learn all those things, just let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to make the tutorials for you. Don't forget to use the link in the description to download Filmora and try it out, and let me know how it goes. If you have any question whatsoever while trying it out, let me know in the comment section, and I'll be right there to answer those questions. And while you are at it, here is the next video that I recommend you watch on this channel to learn more AI skills that you can use to make money for yourself from the comfort of your home. So go ahead and try it and thank me later. See you on the other side. Ciao.